we have to show what the actual effects of torture are, so that, for example, when we hear, oh, well, all the U.S. is doing is making them stand up for a long time, it's important to know that, that this was an old KGB technique that was studied by Cornell University scientists in the 1950s, and they discovered that when people stand up for more than 8 hours, the liquid fluids in their body move south, the heart begins racing to try to get them up north, ankles swell up, blisters break out, people undergo delusions, kidneys begin to fail, all the joints begin to hurt with excruciating agony. People don't know this. When people, I noticed an interesting change in convention in the New York Times just within the past week. It has always referred to waterboarding as simulated drowning, when the one article written by somebody who has actually done waterboarding training with the United States military and has been waterboarded himself says nothing simulated about it. It's real drowning, interrupted before the point of death, in which after the individual is waterboarded, you pump pints and pints of water out of their lungs. The New York Times is now referring to it as near drowning rather than simulated drowning. I think that's a victory as well. So you have to show that, that the military and law enforcement agencies and intelligence professionals are revolted by torture, and that they are among the elements of our culture that are most opposed to it. You have to show people that torture metastasizes, that you can't just torture a few without creating a torture culture that begins to sweep in more and more people. We don't hear very much, for example, about the hunger strikes at Guantanamo and the methods of force feeding that are used, but I have no hesitation in saying that the hunger strikers in Guantanamo, who have the feeding tube, which is as thick as a small garden hose, inserted and extracted from their nostrils twice a day, some of them for more than 400 days, are being tortured right now as we speak, that this is a torture culture that has gone wild. And lastly, I think that we have to contest the cultural commitment by accountability.